Okay, so just carrying on from my last video, we talked up to task C. So task C being based around the individual case within each profile, which you can find at the bottom of each of the cases. So if you're doing the whānau ora kairahi, your case is the Pōpata family. If you're doing the fitness instructor, your case is Luke. And if you are doing the health and wellness advocate, your case is Danny. And the rugby coach, your case is Lupe. So the dilemma, I just want to quickly touch on that. The dilemma is I've tried to pick common dilemmas that people often kind of think. And sometimes they're accurate and sometimes they're not. And it's up to you to figure out whether their dilemma is accurate or not. So you need to describe why you think they're thinking that way. And then you need to use theory to justify whether you think it's right or wrong. So let's have a look at the assistant rugby coach. So Lupe, her dilemma, and if you can see it down the bottom, she's worried that next year when she finishes all her school sport, all her muscle will turn to fat and she'll become overweight. That's a really common dilemma. So you need to work out and describe, why do you think she's thinking that? And then you need to describe what's actually accurate and not accurate. So is it true that all her muscles going to turn to fat when she stops playing her sport, and will she become overweight? You're going to have to do a little bit of research on that and come up with a brief description of that dilemma and whether you think it is right or wrong. And you must use a reference again, okay? So you've got to find some reputable, some credible, some legit evidence to support whatever you say there. Now, I'm not looking for screeds, so have a look. It's only a 250 word count for this whole section. So you don't have to write masses, but what you write has got to be accurate. So don't waffle, get straight to the point and use good information. Lastly, is the recommendation section. So you should be pretty used to this by now. It's the same as what you did with your individual or your group case studies. You need to pick 3 recommendations for your client group. So one has got to be related to physical activity, and you have to include actual suggested method for achieving that recommendation. So don't just write, oh, they need to eat healthier, or they need to do more activity. Or how can they do that? What do you recommend they do? Again, I'm not looking for really specifics of numbers of reps or exact numbers of nutrients. We don't have to go into that level of detail, but you have to give some detail and some suggested methods of actually how they can do it. So find that balance of being specific, but not very nitpicky down to the really fine details. So pretty similar to what you have been doing anyway in your group case studies. You need to do 3, and they only need to be short. Okay, but they have to link to what you've already talked about in section A, B, and C. And you have to justify that recommendation. If you are telling them that they need to eat a certain type of food, or they need to change a certain aspect of their lifestyle, then you need to provide a justification for that. That is the key difference between this assessment and the group assessments, is that I'm looking for more depth here. I'm looking for whatever you talk about to be backed up by evidence. And that is that.